Friday. We are just a little bit past halfway through April. And then it's going to be May, and we'll have to put up Justin Timberlake and everything with his spaghetti hair so that we can properly celebrate May. Well, welcome to the IT Hour. I'm Becky Scott, head of community. Urvashi, who are you again?
I'm just the maintenance person who's here to clean up after this is done. So I'm just waiting for y'all to finish.
Okay. Urbashi's our community technical champion, and Scott Reed is back again. Woohoo!
Oh my
All
god,
right.
Rob! Rob is also
Rob,
back after a
our
long
long lost,
absence.
long lost friend here. We see Dean and Ricky and Alan, Nathan and James, Keith, Nicolay. Welcome, all of you, to the IT Hour. We are glad to have you. And Rob has been long absent, so obviously we're happy to have him back. Brandon, there you are. Welcome to you too. We are glad to have you all with us. Sinicia is there, but quiet. Dorothy, Charlie, Julian, Frank, Zach, Josh, Mike, Eduardo, Timothy, Lori. If I missed anyone, I apologize. But I just wanted to recognize those of y'all who are kind of quiet in the background. But glad to have you all with us. We are happy to be here as usual. Friday means IT hour, it means end of the week. And boy, are we glad to see both of those happening. So today's topic, JumpCloud goes beyond Chrome. You can thank Urvashi for that nice little pun.
But I would just like to quickly highlight that Rob just said that last week there was literally a computer that was literally on fire.
I remember having that happen once when we still had, the CRT monitors and stuff. I got ready to shut down one day, and all of a sudden there's like smoke coming from my monitor. And I was like, wait, what's going on here? Just literally smoke coming from my monitor for no reason. So I'm like unplugging it and everything. And it just decided to, give it the ghost.
And Dean says he doesn't even use JumpCloud, he just comes here to pretend he has friends. We appreciate you, Dean.
Hey, all are welcome, whether you use JumpCloud or not. We don't discriminate. We like everyone who comes here.
And we are your friends. You don't have to pretend. You have friends. That's us.
That's right. We love all y'all. Brandon, I was at a comedy show yesterday. We found out a perfect answer to people asking for personal information. Sorry. I follow the zero trust model. I can't provide that information.
That's me and dating. Zero trust all the way.
And Nikolai, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Have you tried turning it off and then back on? I was terrified to turn it back off and back on again when it was smoking. Not going to happen.
Maybe just wanted to feel cool, like it's on the movies.
Rob says he worked in a computer shop back in the day, and my coworker behind me powers on a customer computer and it starts shooting flames out the back of it right at my head. A dried out mouse was inside the PSU.
Oh!
You. Well, I guess that fried everything, including the mouse.
The mouse. I was just going to say, including the mouse.
If you have another computer on fire, call this number for emergency services. That's a really long number, Dean. Oh, your 3 is in the wrong place, Rob says. So you need to double check and make sure you don't have a typo. Boy, everybody's on fire in the comments. No pun intended, I swear. The comments are go, go, go today. Oh, Stuart said hi and said go, go, go. So there you are. IT crowd reference on the phone number. Nice. All right. Well, all right, we'll get on track, but we're easily distracted. Squirrel. So you never know what's going to happen here. Yes, Scott's like that too. Wait, where? Where? What? All right. Yeah, as usual, we do the community update, and then I don't think I have any product releases today, product release announcements, but Scott is going to talk all about JumpCloud Go. Man, if y'all aren't using JumpCloud Go yet, you need to give it a try, and Scott's going to tell you why. Ha! I rhymed. All right, I'm going to start with the community updates. If you're not looking at the IT Hour group for all things IT Hour, Urvashi has been putting up some transcripts so that you can search around for things you might have missed or things you want to go back to. It's really helpful. So she's got one up about disconnecting Active Directory, one of our past IT hours. And she's also been doing some occasional reposts from the lounge. This most recent one was a command to deploy Office Retail. So we will, when there's a really good solution in the lounge, she will ask whoever has done the solution, she'll ask them to repost it in the community so we don't lose that information, or with their permission, she will repost it in the community. So make sure you check those out too. There's a second one, Restart Nudge for Macs. So we will post those in the show notes afterward. Jurgen has done another community script. He's on fire. PowerShell got org chart, have automating organizational charts with PowerShell and diagrams.net. And I'm telling you, every time we put a fire emoji or I say on fire, both Urvashi and I have Pitbull's Fireball playing in our head. So now you too can have that stuck in your head.
Dun 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 dun.
Fireball. Okay, one last post in the community. Light Touch and OOBE Super Riddle has a question for y'all. Urvashi, which one? I didn't get a chance to read that this morning. So what was Super Riddle asking?
That was a question about how to sort of improve the light touch enrollment for Windows that's going on, that's been released recently, and try to make it as close to zero touch as possible. Jurgen had posted something a while ago about like how to make improvements on that. So that's been shared. But if you have figured out a way to go to zero touch with the PPKG installs, please share your wisdom.
Awesome. All right. And I'm grabbing a link to just the IT Hour transcripts page. I'm doing a bit.ly link because Urvashi had asked to get that going so that you can go directly to the transcripts page. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Nathan, way back in the day, I had an employee put plants on top of their computer. They then proceeded to grow in through the PSU and back computer vents, seizing up the cooling fans. It overheated and was crashing, shutting down randomly. No actual fire, but close.
And I can't keep plants alive even if I try. And these plants have grown through the back of the computer.
I guess they never looked. Okay, for a plant that's hard to kill, my friend specifically gave me this plant for my birthday last fall, and it's still alive. Almost 6 months, going okay, and that's because it needs indirect light, bright indirect light, and it only needs to be watered every 2 to 3 weeks. And I have it to
No,
where my
my
cats won't bother it.
my problem is that I overwater plants. I get like really anxious that they're gonna die because if and I'm just like maybe it needs more water, and then I drown it.
Well, that's just it for this one. You can ignore it and specifically ignore it. And see, I forget plants and they die. I'm looking at the little one that I have here that is pretty pathetic, but I do water it once in a while. It's called
Okay,
the
I'm gonna give it
Z
a
it's
shot.
called the ZZ plant and or Z plant. And I thought I was actually overwatering it by watering it once a week and it only needs it every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So,
I think I've seen these.
all right, back to the topic because I was looking at comments. Okay, Rob has a question I'm going to put in the questions. Dean said that sounded like the song Popcorn. Okay. Oh, I love the Muppets popcorn. It's really cute. It has the chef in it. So you should take a look at that one.
Does anybody remember those the Harry Potter puppet song that was viral like 10 years ago? I'll find it. Never mind. Sorry, continue. That's just my brain.
All right, I'm just checking the Dean says maybe you should start growing a mangrove swamp tree instead because I think he's saying that they need a lot of water. Brandon says, I cleaned a machine last year. I was like, wow, this is surprisingly fur free for being in a house with huskies. Then I took out the fan and saw the line of fur blocking the entire fan. I was like, oh, never mind. All right. So we've got all the random comments, and now we're going to get ready for the. Sorry, Rob said, I swear if ever she ends up posting Crazy Frog, I'm out. Well, how about the what's the song with the duck where he's asking for, is it bananas at the lemon stand or something like that? I don't remember. Now I'll have to go look it up because my kid was just reminding me of it the other day. Little duck walks up and, or grapes. Do you have any grapes? Thank you, Keith and Rob. I remembered without looking at your comments. So there you go. My brain's not totally dead. All right. We are going to, poor Scott. He's sitting through our nuttiness. I warned him that we go off the rails. We were talking about cults last week, Scott. So when does a community merge into being a cult? And we think we might be pretty, we're almost there. Our obsession with coffee and things like that. You can't tell me not to have biscuits, Rob. I'm just saying. All right, Scott, we're going to hand it over to you because we are excited to hear about JumpCloud Go. And then we're going to tell everyone that they need to try JumpCloud Go because it's awesome. And you're going to tell them why it's awesome.
Well, I mean, everyone should love device-bound credentials. It's just the kind of the reality of the world now that from as we feel as consumers, when we're using passkeys, device-bound credentials are just the bomb. A better user experience, a more secure experience for us and our organizations. And there's no question that device-bound authenticators just provide in some ways a more seamless and more secure and just a higher level of assurance for the entire gamut of our access. So JumpCloud Go is an example of a device-bound authenticator, which is only bound to a device that is managed by your organization and tied to that user account, which is also managed. So when we think about, kind of the buzz around zero trust and zero trust access, it hits all three on the head. It's verifying your identity, verifying your device, and also verifying the conditions of being a managed identity on that device. So all those aspects are baked in. And we're super excited to bring this outside of Chrome. I have to give a huge shout out to the name of this episode today. Just brilliant. JumpCloud goes beyond Chrome. I actually think I like it more than I think a blog post I did before with Big Sur and MDM, the Big Sur prize. So this is probably better than that. But to that end, we're bringing JumpCloud Go outside Chrome to all Chromium-based browsers, as well as Firefox. And super excited to say that we've also released it for JumpCloud GNOME-based Linux distributions, which are essentially almost all of them. It's Ubuntu, Fedora, Pop! OS, Debian, CentOS, Rocky Linux, and Red Hat. And what this underscores is when your organization has users adopting JumpCloud Go, you can now take that step to shorten the session durations of all of the service providers that JumpCloud is configured for SSO with. With JumpCloud Go, the way that this device-bound credential requests sessions is in such a way that users, once they have a JumpCloud Go session, are going to be continuously getting new sessions to the service providers without any sort of user interaction that requires them to re-enter their password or re-authenticate. And why that matters is in the event that a user is tricked into doing something they shouldn't do, sharing their hardfire, putting their cookie out on the internet because they made a mistake, that cookie is useless to a bad actor. And in reality, that's really what we're trying to do with the JumpCloud platform. Put together a suite of features around online security that just protect you the way your car now has a suite of security features that protects you, and they all add up to make you safe when driving. So to that end, JumpCloud Go provides not just phishing-resistant device-bound authentication, but also protects us because those sessions that we generate with the Go token, that device-bound credential, they're useless to bad actors in the event that someone shares that cookie out on the open internet and a bad actor tries to use it. So we're really, really, really excited about bringing JumpCloud Go to everyone in an organization, especially those Linux users. And the bottom line is that kind of next for JumpCloud Go is continuing to just kind of weave it into the platform so that we can lead with our most secure authentication method. And you can have confidence knowing that users, when they select and sign into their resources, are using JumpCloud Go. So we're really excited. We've been having a lot of conversations with customers about what we can do to improve the experience, the adoption, and ultimately, try and make JumpCloud as secure as possible by default for all our users. Looking in the chat, where's Safari? So Safari is going to be a lot of fun. So one of the realities that we face with JumpCloud Go is kind of the interface with how it communicates with the operating system. And what we're doing now is it's extension based. So with Chrome and Chromium, we have the Chrome extension. You also use the Chromium extension for Edge right now. We have a standalone extension for Firefox, and that's the new way we're doing that. As we get prepared for something we're really excited about, which is bringing JumpCloud Go to mobile and supporting conditional access on managed mobile devices via that framework, we're developing a single sign-on extension, so an SSOE. And what's awesome about an SSOE is that framework that we're bringing to mobile is what we'll then bring to Safari. And SSOEs are not browser extensions. They're single sign-on extensions that are deployed. We can deploy it kind of alongside our agent and our Tray app. So the experience for JumpCloud Go on Safari is actually going to be seamless when we get there. It's currently in planning and sits behind the initiative to bring JumpCloud Go to mobile. The SSOE, though, is pretty cool. It's what kind of ties in with macOS's platform single sign-on, but we'll be using it to our own advantage with JumpCloud Go. And essentially, there'll be no other thing that you have to do than open up Safari as a managed user on a managed device, and you'll have direct access to your resource, no extension required. Which brings me to my next point. We say, hey, Scott, how are you going to do that? Well, right now, JumpCloud Go with the browser extension requires registration. There's a registration step where when you don't have a device-bound credential, you do a full authentication to the user portal to receive that device-bound credential. And a lot of what I've taken from feedback and kind of the interviews that we had with customers is that first touch, that first experience with JumpCloud Go feels a little confusing. And it feels confusing because there's no difference than what user experience today when they go to the user portal. So we're looking at and investigating how we can bring JumpCloud Go registration to the device login to provide a true seamless experience of you log in with your device with your password. That then generates the device bound credential. And similar to the experience that you may have seen inside the Microsoft ecosystem with a primary refresh token, logging into your device gets you that device bound credential that then just seamlessly works when you open the browser. There's no additional authentication step. There's no user verification. Your verification happens when you log into your device, and that seamless single authentication then covers you for the rest of the day. So to that end, we're looking at that device registration piece. It's always been on the roadmap, and we're really excited to continue that investigation to see how we can bring that to Mac and Windows. The reality is on Mac, there's just looking to be a little bit more of a challenge in what we can do on Windows, given how that screen unlock and the login screen, the connection to actually getting and storing that due to internet connectivity. So we're investigating there, but I feel strongly that we hope to have a solution to really complete and have a seamless flow from device unlock straight into the browser. Awesome. Okay, Keith, I'm gonna give me a second to read this.
We should say it out loud. Is there any reporting on whether someone is using JumpCloud Go to log in? Windows Chrome looks different from Mac Chrome when JumpCloud Go is enabled.
So yes, inside of the events, whether it's a user login event or it's a SSO auth event, we have the auth context, and there's two pieces in that auth context and that metadata. There's a JumpCloud Go success, true, and that'll show us that JumpCloud Go is being used, as also a JumpCloud Go UV check, which is essentially saying, did they use their local platform authenticator in this request? So those attributes, those metadata pieces are included inside of just those events, which arguably doesn't make it easy, the best to report on, because only events that have that metadata. It's not like that's false inside the other events. We're looking right now at that specific use case, and what we really want to do is bring to our admins visibility the relative authentication strength of those users' requests coming into their portal. So in some ways, right, like I think what's most important is to bring to your attention any requests that are coming in without MFA. Users who aren't logging with MFA, to me, that is probably one of the highest priorities from a security perspective that I would be looking at fixing, enforcing MFA, make sure they are using MFA. But then we want to also bring in the relative strength of MFA they're using. Given we now have a phishing-resistant MFA authentication method, which is device-bound. WebAuthn is also phishing-resistant, but the device-bound piece is pretty cool. We want to bring you visibility into how users are accessing resources so you can gauge for yourself the adoption of JumpCloud Go. And that should tie in nicely as we work to give you the option to, in a future release, configure which apps have authentication constraints that require certain MFA methods, which is just a fancy way to give you the ability to enforce JumpCloud Go. So inside of those directory insights events, exporting, filtering them, those would be the best ways to manage that now. Unfortunately, what we currently have in the DI Explorer, you can't get down to that level of the metadata where it's at. It's nested inside of the auth context, but the data is there.
Great. And Nathan wants to know, do you have plans to add a user's JumpCloud Go status to the security status in the admin console? Like how it shows password active, TOTP, MFA active, JumpCloud Protect active, etc. in the left sidebar.
So really what we'd love to do is we'd love to expose and give you insight into which devices have device-bound credentials and which device-bound credentials are tied to which users, so that you can see the status of those sessions that are on devices. Because in some way, JumpCloud Go represents an MFA method that's tied to a device, right? It's a device-bound credential. So we want to make that visible and kind of highlight that intersection of device identity and then access provided by Go. So bringing visibility into those inside of, if you look at the white paper, they're called DIRTs, Device User Refresh Token. We had a lot of fun with that pun, and we just, in here at JumpCloud, we get dirty using DIRTs. But to that end, that visibility into the device-bound credential and how it's being used as an MFA method, we're looking at ways to expose that And again, illuminate that intersection of device identity and access using the most secure method that we have.
All right. There was one other question earlier that I didn't want us to forget, but I'm not sure if this is going to be a you question, Scott. Will Restart Nudge allow us to set it to pass commands as admin so multi-user machines can restart without me having to physically enter an admin login?
I think that's a question from the community post about nudging Max to restart. So Rob, you should post the link there. I'll post a comment there. I'll send you the link, and then we can keep that discussion going.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that was from a while ago. I was trying to save it to make sure that we didn't lose that one. Keith is saying, right? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I have one question that came up in the Slack lounge, which I then sent to Scott, which then I answered, but it might be good to talk about here also. There was a question about how JumpCloud Go is useful with Linux because there's no like biometric option tied into it. So how does it fill that gap?
On every device that we support, Mac and Windows and Linux, a knowledge factor is what can be used for local platform authentication. So biometrics, all in all, on Mac and Windows are a convenience factor that afford users a faster login. Apple Watch authentication is another convenience factor that can afford users faster login. On Linux with JumpCloud Go right now, we currently don't support using any platform authenticators outside of password. So because we support so many versions of Linux via GNOME, our fastest path to market was just supporting local authentication via the device authenticator and password prop. Biometrics, again, to configure them inside of Mac and Windows, you configure them with the password. If you fail too many times, let's say you use your pinky or there's peanut butter on your finger, you'll be prompted for a knowledge factor. So there's no security improvement or way to enforce biometrics used for local platform authentication. And we feel that when you come back from your computer after sleeping and it says, enter your password to unlock Touch ID. A knowledge factor always sits in front of a biometric factor in the operating systems that we support. In the future, it's on the vendors to provide biometrics as a first-class primary authentication factor. And you actually can do this on Windows, so you can have a truly zero-touch flow using Windows Hello. You can use it as a primary authentication factor. But on Mac, file vault decrypt requires a password no matter what. There's no way to get around the reality that you're going to enter a password in on this device. So the question of where do biometrics play into JumpCloud Go, it's a convenience factor when users have them configured. The true security benefits of JumpCloud Go come to the fact that the credential is device bound. The credential is non-phishable, non-portable, and when that credential is used, there's nothing in transit or workflow presented to an end user where that authentication request can be phished. So the really kind of meat behind the security benefits of JumpCloud Go are linchpinned on the fact that those credentials are stored on the device, stored in the TPM or the secure enclave, and therefore are inaccessible by any attempts by a bad actor, even with physical access to the device.
I was on mute. So biometrics are basically just like nice little gift wrapping on top of the real gift, which is underneath that, which then I think plays into Keith's comment, right, Becky?
Yeah, I was just going to throw that up there. Right at the moment, JumpCloud Go is an available option, even if they don't have Windows Hello or Mac Touch ID turned on. So they think they're using JumpCloud Go, but not really.
But they are.
They're absolutely using Go. They're absolutely using Go. Again, the biometric is just a convenience. It's the local platform authenticator. So we defer to the platform. If your device is in clamshell mode, you're going to be prompted for a password no matter what, unless you have Apple Watch set up. So I'm in clamshell mode. That's how I use Go. And I use Go with my Apple Watch with 2 taps to get in and verify my presence. That presence check is just me asserting my presence into my computer. And again, the benefits of the authentication happen behind the scenes in the idea that we're using a local credential. There's nothing in transit that's phishable, as well as the sessions are non-portable.
Awesome. That's really neat. So it's about having it with you physically, right? So you can so it's not intercepted. Oh, James, I may have missed this. Is there a way to see if JumpCloud Go is being used? Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit earlier. I deployed the extension a while ago, but no idea if it's actually being used. I guess, do you want to give a quick recap of what you said earlier?
Yeah, so this is something we really want to bring to the device overview page and give you some easy dashboards that give you context as to the relative security of how people are logging in, which will show you when they're using Glow as it's the most secure method that we have. But right now, the answer, James, is if you export your SSO auth events as well as your user login events, inside of the metadata of auth context, there is a section that shows JumpCloud Go true false, as well as a user verification. So if they did user verification, which is doing that platform authentication, PIN, password, face, anything counts as UV inside of that.
Oh, quite a lot going on. Um, Nicola says the Windows Glue pin is so annoying, like, hey, enter your biometrics, but you have to set a pin, which is very easy to be seen. But that pin setting is just a one time thing, right? Like the first time you set it up, and then you just use your face.
So Windows is pretty awesome. They allow for multiple authenticators to be configured, and they can be used as primary authenticators. So your JumpCloud, if you're a managed account and a managed device, then your password is one. You can add additional. You can add PIN. You can add hello. You can add touch. It's on the user and their choice to configure PIN. And there's also some policies that we have that can give you the ability to, I think, disable PIN. I think we provide that option.
Kelly asks, can I set up JumpCloud Go with my Apple Watch if my watch is set up with my personal Apple ID?
Yeah, so it's actually tying that to your device. So if you say unlock with Apple Watch, that becomes an option. So that's what I have set up. So absolutely, that is how I authenticate Go with my Mac device in clamshell mode, because double tapping this is much faster than putting in my password.
Awesome. Ricky had a different question. If I missed it, I apologize. Any updates on service accounts and self-provisioning, aka show add JumpCloud account on login screen if there aren't any accounts other than JC managed service accounts, aka admin, etc.
So right now we have a hard limitation for self-service account provisioning, where if there's a single managed account on the device, then the sign in with JumpCloud button doesn't show up. What I'd ask for you to do, Ricky, is if you could put in a feature request so we can get some more data to support this. Right now, we're not working on that, but that is something that we could build with enough community support and requests.
Okay, that means she's going to drop in the feature request again. All right, so let's see. Will Scott be making any personal appearances, like a random example? Okay. Like as a random example, in Pennsylvania in July.
Hey, Tom, can I come back to Mac Admins? Please, that is the request. I'd love to come back to the Mac Admins Penn State, if that's what we're referring to. Such a great conference. So hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have to chat with him about that. I know that I don't think we're doing the same thing we were last year, so we'll have to figure that out. And yes, there's Overshe's feature request. Full disclosure, Kelly pestered Scott a lot at the booth last year. I don't think we would be having a booth, so we'll have to figure something else out. Feature request to Microsoft. I don't think they track it as much as you guys at JumpCloud. Well, thank you for the compliment. We do try to pay close attention to those, and we talk about them a lot internally.
There was one comment from Keith that sort of, I think, slid under the radar. It's not a question, but he says, I think the difference is on Mac with Touch ID, Chrome just authenticates through after 1 hour timeout on apps, whereas on Windows Chrome, if you have PIN set up, you need to enter the PIN code and sometimes the user slash pass a few times per day. Oh, username and password. I was like, what is user slash pass? But yeah, the credentials, I guess. Submit a feature request, not to us.
Hmm.
I don't have a link for that.
Keith says my comment may have to do with clamshell mode. So, yeah, could be. Sometimes I love clamshell mode and sometimes not so much. So I have mine open
Yeah,
right
the,
now.
the challenge of the clamshell mode is you can't really use Bluetooth. So I just kind of figured out how to make it work by using a Logitech unifying receiver so I can actually type my password in as that file vault screen. That was my pain before with clamshell mode and system updates and restarts. But with physical connection to your keyboard and mouse, you can really use clamshell mode.
But I have my headphones connect to Bluetooth even when my laptop is closed.
It's that restart where you're at that decrypt screen and the device is basically saying I'm secure until you unlock me.
Ooh, Keith is asking. Oh, wait, there's a couple of things here. Brandon says, can we all send feedback to Microsoft to quit asking for fingerprints on the laptop in clamshell mode? Do it. I don't think it's just a feature request. Trying to understand how it works for my users. Please add lots of walkthroughs for each OS and auth method. So I think that one's for us. Noted, Keith.
Yeah, one thing that we're looking to do is to really bring Go into the default flow. So as a user, when you're accessing a resource, one of the areas I'm drawing inspiration from is that if you sign into iCloud.com in Safari and you're signed into your Apple ID, you get defaulted to sign in with the passkey, and it's just you have another option to sign in for the password that you want, but it just gives you that default option of I want to use a passkey and presents you with the most secure and seamless flow. So we are thinking about potentially doing that when the Go service is on and users are on managed devices. So the education happens naturally as part of their browsing experience. And we get them to use Go and increase their usage and security while also providing a habit that I think is the right habit, which is using the safest and most secure login method. So I hope that, by presenting this naturally in the flow, there's less education, more usage, and every organization is just broadly more safer because their users' access to the resources are by default phishing resistant.
All right. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Did we miss anything, Hervishi?
I don't think so. But I was told that my keyboard was very loud, so I'd like to apologize to everybody. I have a brand new little mic thingy, and it's a lot. There's a lot more attention to my keyboard than my headphones. So
It's very cute.
my bad. Nicola says greatest way I would see would be day one of the user. We give them a QR code they can scan on JCGo on their phone, and then voila, they can connect everywhere.
Absolutely. So let's schedule some time follow up. I'd love to understand kind of that flow more, specifically which device they're getting that QR code on, how they're scanning it, like what the real flow is. But definitely want to dig into that and understand your ideal behavior. So stay tuned. I'll reach out.
Awesome. I mean, Kelly answered this in the chat, but Surya is wanting to know if it works for Linux Ubuntu as well.
Yep. On all GNOME-based distros, so Ubuntu, Fedora, Pop, Debian, CentOS, Rocky Linux, as well as Red Hat.
Well, I love how you just rattle those off. Boom.
I may or may not have it up on my secondary screen.
I like, or she's coming. You can rewatch the show for details, and yes, she will post show notes. By the way, you can rewatch here on Crowdcast. Once the show's over, you can just click play and it'll play again. We also do live stream simultaneously on YouTube, and you can always go back and watch there. But you will miss out on all the wonderful comments, except the ones we read or put on screen. So sometimes it's more fun to watch it here, so you can scroll through the comments. All right. Urvashi, I think it might be time for the news.
The news, the latest news. This is tiny little mic. It's a USB mic. It's so small,
It's
and
very
it like
cute.
folds. It folds into this, so I can pack it away in this tiny box.
It's too bad you
This is
can't
now an
pin it.
influencer
It'd be fun if you
episode.
could like pin it to you and everything, so you could.
This would be too much, I think.
No,
Yeah,
down.
let's not do that.
Down here, not right here.
Is this? I feel like this is not good. Anyway,
It's good sound though. It would
holds
be
up the
awkward.
object about the size of a cell phone. It's not the size of a cell phone.
It's smaller than that.
Rude, Rob. Don't size shame this mic. Anyway, moving on to the news. You guys, we had such a good run in March, but CISA is back with a ransomware notification. So since March 2023, Akira ransomware has impacted a wide range of businesses and critical infrastructure entities in North America, Europe, and Australia. In 2023, following an initial focus on Windows systems, Akira threat actors deployed a Linux variant targeting VMware ESXi virtual machines. And as of January 1st, 2024, the ransomware group has impacted over 250 organizations and claimed approximately 42 million US dollars in ransomware proceeds. Why are we here trying to make an honest living, y'all? Anyway, the FBI and cybersecurity researchers have observed that Akira threat actors obtain initial access to organizations through a VPN service, which doesn't have MFA, and is mostly using known Cisco vulnerabilities. Additional methods of initial access include the use of external facing services such as RDP, spear phishing, and the abuse of valid credentials. So there will be a link to this in the show notes, so go through it. It has all of the ways to identify the ransomware and how to prevent it. So womp womp, March was a good month, but we're back.
No mas.
What?
I said no mas.
I know. Anyway, in other sad womp womp kind of news, Microsoft reminder support for Office 2016 and 2019 ends next year. So, Microsoft has issued the reminder this week that applications in the two Office suites, including versions of Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, and others, will no longer receive security fixes, bug fixes, and technical updates after support date passes. This is also true for Exchange Server 2016 and 2019, as well as Skype for Business Server 2015 and 2019. Does anybody use Skype for Business Server?
Not really. But
What is
that
this?
must
2009?
it must only be for Windows versions, because I have one of those for my Mac and they won't give me security updates anymore. They just say, "Oops, sorry." They give me notices, but then when I try
Yeah.
to install anything, it doesn't work. So
And October 14, 2025 is also the last date for Windows 10 support. Goodbye, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. No, I did that wrong. What's the first?
so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen,
So long.
adieu, adieu,
Yeah.
adieu to you and you and you. Dun,
This is
dun,
now
dun, dun, dun,
musical.
dun, 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 dun. I saw that so many times and just I can't help myself.
On the topic of JumpCloud Go, especially being phishing resistant. LastPass users targeted in phishing attacks, good enough to trick even the savvy from Ars Technica. The attackers used an advanced phishing as a service kit discovered in February by researchers from mobile security firm Lookout, dubbed Crypto Chameleon. I kind of like that as a DJ name, I'm not going to lie. For its focus on cryptocurrency accounts, the kit provides all the resources needed to trick even relatively savvy people into believing the communications are legitimate. This is the extent to which they went, you guys. Elements include high quality URLs, a fake single sign on page for the service that the target is using, and everything needed to make voice calls or send emails or texts in real time as targets are visiting a fake site. The end to end service can also bypass MFA in the event that the target is using its protection. LastPass was only one of dozens of services or sites that Crypto Chameleon was configured to spoof. Others include Federal Communications Commission, Coinbase, and other cryptocurrency exchanges, and email, password management, and single sign on services. So they really got that far and wide.
Well, I hope Crypto Chameleon finds the Karma Chameleon. Shame on them.
Wait, there's some questions in here that I see. Rob says dedicated desktop, it's a small mic, think of Rode Wireless. Do you Rode Wireless is very expensive in India. Let me just say, if you would like to ship me one, by all means, Rob, go ahead. I heard ICQ is being withdrawn. Is that true? Does anybody know? I don't know actually.
I don't know.
We'll get back to you on that one. Rob says the real question is, has anyone ever actually called OCS Link Skype for Business? True. This is true. I mean, Microsoft does, I guess. I would like to bring a motion to the floor to rename the news portion of this program to the Week in Womp Womp. This Week in Womp Womp. Yes, Kelly. That's. I try to make sure that there's at least one like good news story, but anyway. Oh, okay. Dean says it's not. ICQ has not been withdrawn. Okay, we have a little bit more in Womp Womp news. This one makes me really sad given my headphones right now, but the quiet danger of noise canceling headphones. According to the academic director of Macquarie, is that how you say it? Macquarie University Hearing, not hearing your environment is unnatural. So if you're using noise canceling headphones for long periods of time, they say your brain overcompensates by turning up its internal gain, creating a listening loss, operating at an increased sensitivity, which alters your neural pathways. This is called hidden hearing loss, which is your brain's ability to process sound rather than your ear's inability to hear it. So, and apparently there's no reversing it, which I don't want to believe because neuroplasticity is real and you can undo a lot of things. But yeah, if you're a chronic noise canceling headphones user like I am,
I wonder how it manifests itself because that's I mean, like what kind of hearing loss? Do you get
apparently it's like
tinnitus or do you
apparently your brain, I read the whole article, and apparently your brain becomes less sensitive to like noise that's further away because it's only attuned to noise that's like noise or sound that's like right in your ear. So environmental or background noise becomes something that your brain just stops paying attention to.
Brandon has a good
Yay.
comment. I wonder if me using earplugs a lot causes the same issue.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, because
Never
the
hear the wind again, I guess.
because noise canceling kind of actively works against the sounds in earplugs, just kind of dampen it temporarily. So I don't know.
But I will end the news section, the Womp Womp section, with something hilarious. So you know how hands were the giveaway that it was an AI generated image? Well, the hands for AI generated video content are teeth. So apparently, teeth are the giveaway. Researchers at Microsoft released a paper this week about VASA One, a new AI tool that can generate a convincing video of someone speaking using just a still image. So Microsoft doesn't have immediate plans to release a new tool to the public, but it's pretty impressive. Well, it's impressive, and I'm quoting Gizmodo here. Well, it is impressive if you don't look too closely at the teeth. If you focus on the teeth, they can get a cartoonish quality, appearing slightly animated in a way that doesn't quite fit with the hyper realistic quality of everything else. And yes, I will be sharing my screen to show you this slowed down version of the video that they used in this article.
I'm
Saw that one.
scared.
Okay, okay, ahead of the game, Nicola, but not everyone else has seen it. Okay, so I'm still gonna show it to you.
I'm scared.
Sorry. Okay, who's ready? Screen, your teeth. Yes. Do y'all see her teeth? Do you see them expanding and then shrinking?
Oh,
Yeah, it's like they're made of like chewing gum. Yeah. Especially when they like connect and then separate, like the size changes completely. Ah!
there's more of them.
There's apparently this one.
Surprises me still. I ran it on someone just last night. It was fascinating. She had complained of.
I don't see it in this one, but in this one, it's pretty bad. So yeah, now you're welcome. Enjoy your nightmares of shape shifting teeth. You're welcome, everybody.
Wow.
Peak AI video was Jack Black eating peaches and The Rock eating rocks. Fight me. That happens to my teeth all the time. What's so strange? Dad, what are your teeth made of?
Hmm. One of the funny big complaints right now, it doesn't have anything to do with like AI video and stuff, but Pokemon Go just changed all their avatars to give people a little more control over them, and hands come into play because everybody's complaining about the hands. They made the arms like super long and they made the hands gigantic for everyone. They're just like these weird, I mean, like big hands, even on small bodies. And it just looks so out of proportion that everybody is complaining about um, what the new avatars look like. And it's just, I'm sitting back and watching it.
Don't
It's
think I'm not
hilarious.
looking for this right now.
I see it in the groups. I don't know if it's out anywhere else, but there are so many complaints about this doesn't look like me now. I can't customize it to make like me. It looked more like me before. And just
Oh my god, these headlines are so funny. Pokemon Go new avatar update is unfortunately live. What is Pokemon Go's new update? Pokemon Go players think new customization update makes trainers ugly.
they changed the there's something about the lighting on the face that they actually I don't know, they look a little weirder because they're not as in depth, like the lighting and the shading on the faces make them look a little less 3D, but it's the body shape. Like people are complaining because there's not as much of a waist for women, and just silly things where instead of improving it, people think they made it worse. And um I don't the arguments are just so the complaints are just so funny because people are really intense about it. So I'm getting a kick out of it. I'm like, oh, I don't really care. I didn't even notice. Like I logged in and saw my avatar. I guess it had changed a little bit, and I didn't notice until I looked at the hands, and I'm like, oh, I guess I did get the update too. So I just put gloves on.
But you know what's not ugly and is not Pokemon Go, and that actually works the way you expect it to? JumpCloud Go. Always be plug in.
There you go. Always be selling. That's right.
But this
But
is why I
ser-
would never make it in like actual sales, is because I would just go up to them and be like, you know what's better than Pokemon Go? JumpCloud Go. I hear that's not how you make sales.
can I use JumpCloud Go to log into Pokemon Go?
Oh my
Ah.
god. Scott, can we do that? Not right now. Feature request, guys. Feature request.
Kelly says I'll get my coat. We'll
Well,
get the
Scott has
hook.
had a busy day, and it's only the beginning.
Yeah, it's he's 2 hours behind me and many hours behind you. So do you have realistic hands in JumpCloud Go?
We have realistic
Doodaloo,
biometric
doodaloo,
fingerprint
doodaloo.
integration, so it doesn't matter how ugly your hands are as long as your fingerprint works. Nicola wins. Good night, everybody.
Rob says, hey, Niantic was a Google project, so you know they're all about multi-factor auth. There's a chance. And Brandon says, I mean, if you redirect Google SSO to JumpCloud, technically, yes.
So
Hmm.
what you need to do is set up federated authentication.
Hmm. Could be
This is
an
what this
interesting
community is
side
for.
an interesting side project. And Scott's just sitting there like,
Somebody do it and post a how-to on the community. I believe in you.
yep, I think Rob could do it. Charizard, you'd use federated SSO.
And then you set it up with Windows Hello, and it doesn't work ever.
Okay, Kelly kind of beat me to it. I choose you. Touch ID.
We are all adults here.
I do still play Pokemon Go, believe it or not. I started with
I
my
have
kids in 2016, and I stopped playing it for like a year and a half, and then just got back into it a little bit, and I just kind of dabble, just you know,
my
once a
Pokemon
day
Go
I
is trying to
might.
figure out where my cat is at any given point in time. Sorry, I cut you off like you were saying.
No, that's okay. Magikarp, use flail. See, I never played the actual game with the cards and everything, so I've only done Go, so I don't know all of the. I still don't know all of the Pokemon and stuff. My kids have a book that tells you all that stuff. So, but I didn't collect cards or anything, so I know nothing about that side of it.
I used to play the what was it? Game Boy, the Game Boy one, which my brother had. Nicola has another very interesting question. Can you connect Pokemon Go with Skype for Business?
That's a Niantic and Microsoft question. Sorry, we can't help you, Nikolai.
But if you want to then integrate it with Google, with JumpCloud SSO and JumpCloud Go.
All right, y'all. Well, we are at time, so we should probably end that right there. Thanks for joining us. Next week, don't forget, it's our 100th episode. We have our Resmo co-founders, Serhat and Mustafa, and giveaways. We are going to do some giveaways. Yep. Show me the money.
Oprah GIF. Giveaway for you. For you. For you.
That's right.
For everybody.
So make sure you spread the word and join us. Yes, Dean, giveaways. Yay! So we will see you next Friday. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us as always, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye, all.